Hey everybody, welcome back to Coral Gardens. It has been a long time since I've done a video, so I figured I better do a tank update video. The tank's turned 2 this week, so here we are at 2 years. It's been, my goodness, months since I've done a video. So I'll do a quick tank tour and we'll do some updates on some of the coral growth over the last year. So there's been some up and downs as usual with the reef. I guess more ups than downs. The hammer garden's growing like crazy. Matter of fact, the rainbow hammer in the center here is getting choked out by the other ones beside it. Looks like I'm gonna have to move it. And this torch is now stinging this hammer here and killing some of the heads on the side, so he's gonna have to be moved. I think I'm just gonna move him over and rehome this hammer here into a different spot. But things are growing quite nicely, as you can see. It's hard to judge how big these are. That's probably 8-9 inches across, and this coral here is a good, at least a foot around. It's gotten quite large. I've been trimming this one almost weekly. I guess some of the down we had was I did something that I know I shouldn't do. I changed some stuff on the tank, and what I did was I added a new one more light. These are the Radian XR30 Pros, and I used to have 3 and I've added 4 because I felt like I was getting some shadows on some of the corals here. So I added one more light and I did a pump upgrade. I changed this from 2 MP40s to 1 MP60 and moved the MP40s to different locations. After I did that, I guess I irritated the coral, and this coral has a huge alkalinity and calcium demand daily. And what happened was the demand stopped because I shocked the coral with the new lights and flow. And overnight, since they were not consuming alkalinity and calcium overnight, the levels went crazy high. Probably the DKH went up about 1.5 over where it normally is. I didn't notice right away until the next day. I tried to do a water change to bring it down. I turned off the calcium reactor temporarily, but the damage was done. It had the alk swing, and all of the corals almost in the tank changed color. They sort of browned out, and I lost, over in this area especially, I lost about 5 good-sized colonies. But that was in November, so this is now February the 15th, I believe, today. And things are starting to come around. The color's starting to come back. I almost lost one of my favorite corals here, this pink millie. After about a week, it changed color to like a fluorescence. It looked kind of cool, but I knew what was coming, and it started to die. It started to bleach out on the underside first, and then it started to whiten up. All the polyps retracted. It started to whiten up in the core. It has gotten its color back on the underside, and some of the polyps have come back out on this coral. As you can see, it's starting to recover. A lot of its colors come back, but this particular area in the back doesn't have a whole lot of polyp extension, and at the base it's sort of still lost a lot of color. It sort of whitened out, bleached out on me. So that one hopefully will come back because it's one of the showstoppers in the tank. Other corals that were damaged was this one here. It's still sort of browned out, and the polyps are retracted on that coral. Everybody else seems to have snapped back pretty good in the last couple months. Let's see, I had a beautiful Walt Disney that did not like the DKH swing, and he's gone, no longer with us. But this coral here seems to have survived. It didn't really have any adverse effects from the alk swing, but it seems to be doing quite well and growing. I'm gonna have to cut back this green slimer again as they keep growing into each other. I've cut this back at least once a week. I have to cut that. What else we got going on in here? This coral here, it's never really grown for me. It's been in the tank for about 1.5 years. It just started to grow just before I had the elk swing. So it's angry again, and I'm not sure if that one's gonna make it. This is a frag off another coral. Everything else seems to be doing pretty good. The torches and hammers are all doing well. This SPS down on the bottom, it did lose a lot of its color, but it's starting to come back. It's got the green and purples when it's happy. Luckily I didn't kill the sun god torch, which I really, really like. Other than that, there hasn't been a whole lot of changes. I should know better than to be messing with the tank like that. Things were going too well, so I just had to change something and upset everybody. But other than that, everything's growing quite well. There hasn't been really any equipment changes. What have I changed in the equipment here? Let's open up and have a look here. What have I done? I did add ozone. So I do have this here, the ozonator, and that is adding ozone. And that made a huge improvement to the clarity of the water. It's just amazing. I did clean out the sump last week, or 2 weeks ago. Keep taking off the Chaeto here, removing a bunch of that. What else we got going on here? I found a problem with the skimmer here. It was clogging up, the air intake was clogging up. There's a little piece of calcium or something in there, which I didn't realize. It was a spot I didn't regularly clean on this unit here, and I took it out, got it cleaned, and it's working great again. So what's going to happen this year with the tank? I guess it looks like we're probably going to be doing a lot of fragging. I don't really have room for any more corals. As a matter of fact, I'm struggling a little bit with the growth here, because if you look at these hammers, this was a single head when I got it. This was like 3 heads. This was like 4 heads. This is a wall hammer. They're just huge, and it's hard to get the size of these, but they're bigger than a softball for sure. They're probably 6 or 7 inches around here. So finding a spot to move this, I mean, where do I move it? It can't fit here because this is getting too big, and it needs all of this space with those sweepers. Can't be close to that, can't be close to here. So come over here. This guy's really aggressive. I might try and squeeze it in somewhere here. As you can see, I'm dealing with some dinos in the sand here, and that's just sort of been an ongoing issue. I'm hoping that dies down, though. I don't even think it's really dinos. I think it's just algae. One of the strange things with this tank is that I'm always reading 0 on my nutrients, which has always been a struggle. I've always had too clean of a tank, and I have an algae problem. So that's obviously everything's growing well, so the tank doesn't really seem to care that there's no readable nutrients in the tank. I'd say my phosphates are 0.03. My nitrates are anywhere from 1 to 0, usually non-detectable with the HANA test kit that I use. So sorry about the reflection there, guys. It's not a great camera I'm using. Anyways, that's a 2-year update. I thought I'd do a quick little video and let you guys know what's going on with the tank. And happy reefing, everybody. I hope you guys enjoy your tanks.